I'm Aaron Suttles, Director of Content for Yea Alabama, and welcome to another edition of Half Hour Huddle, your exclusive spot where you get to interact with the best and brightest in student athletes at the University of Alabama. And tonight we got a special guest, Miss Sarah Ashlee Barker. But before we get to her, we got a couple of housekeeping items we want to get to. Remember, we'd like for you to follow our social media accounts. Go to Yea Alabama. You'll find them. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and that's where you find the latest information, including events like tonight with Sarah Ashlee. Youth T-shirts are finally in. We've been promising them to you in the merch store at Yea Alabama, but they are finally in. So you want that swinging elephant for baseball and the swinging elephant for golf in your youth sizes for your boys and girls. Guess what? Hot off the presses. Go get them. Also check out T-shirts that we already have in stock. They make great beach wear at the beach. I've worn mine at the beach, and you get comments everywhere you go because people know the brand Alabama and they know Yea Alabama. So go check out the merch store there. And also a reminder before we get started, if you have a question for Miss Barker tonight, make sure you click underneath the video and you can comment live as we're going. So if she says something you think is particularly fascinating, interesting, which she will, then make sure you follow up with your own comment. And let's now bring in Sarah Ashlee.
Hey, how are you?
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Well, let me ask you, I always tend to ask during these summer months, we tend to think the student athletes are, they got some time off, but we all know it's a little more rigorous than that. What's your days like right now in the off season? You got classes going on. What's going on?
Right. So for our basketball team this year, we were required to be here in June. So we got here on campus in June. We started summer school. We're in practices, and we're actually getting ready to go to Spain because we go to Spain August 5th through the 15th. So that'll be a lot of fun. So July is pretty much a lot more kind of hands-on practice-wise just because we're able to go to Spain in August, which is a lot of fun. So in June, I took 2 classes. I had one in-person class. It was kind of like a computer class that I kind of had to have just to get my graduate degree. And then I had an online. My online is pretty much in June and July. So that's what I'm doing right now. But it's kind of nice because I wake up, just kind of do my own thing, do my work whenever I kind of want. And then I go into practice, treatment. But yeah, so we're grinding pretty hard this summer, and it's been a lot of fun.
So you mentioned that trip to Spain coming up. I imagine the team's pretty pumped about it.
Yes,
and stereotypes being what they are, which we don't believe in, but there is a stereotype that women tend to pack more than men for trips like this. What is going in your suitcase for this trip?
I'm going to be honest, I really haven't thought about it. I know that they will give us a list for what I need for the team stuff, so that's handled for sure. But personal stuff, I really don't know what I want to pack. I really need to go shopping, figure out what kind of people, like what they wear in Spain and that kind of stuff. A lot of my teammates and I, we've been talking about it and like looking on like the internet and seeing like what we can buy and stuff like that. And it's actually been a lot of fun just talking to my teammates about what they're packing, what I'm going to pack. But I mean, as long as I just have, I need a toothbrush. I know that for sure. Just the little things. And then we get to play over there and just have fun. But yeah, I really have no idea what I'm packing, but I will overpack. I know for sure. That's just how I am with any trip. So, and I have 3 brothers, and if they were going to Spain, they literally would probably just pack some shirts, shoes, call it a day, and just go with it. So,
well, on these types of trips, obviously it's a huge learning experience, getting to experience another culture. You get to scratch that competitive itch too, as you mentioned, you're going to be playing over there. But in terms of bonding as a team, I imagine trips like this are invaluable.
Absolutely. I think that, every year you want to be able to do something as a team like this. Last year we went to this place down in Montgomery or Troy, Alabama, and that was kind of our team bonding thing. But this year we'll be going to Spain, and I think it's just you really kind of get to know people, and there's a lot of time where you're with each other all the time, and it's very, very valuable of just the team chemistry that you get to create, but also you get to like joke around with people. It's not all serious all the time, and I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is like we can go to Spain, we can do basketball, like we can do our work that we're supposed to, but then we're people too. We get to have fun, laugh, go eat, get dressed up, take cute pictures, and I think that's just what all the team bonding, and that's what can make our team great. Team bonding is very important, but just understanding that team bonding can be fun, and that's what we're trying to do in Spain.
The men's team took a trip to Europe last year,
They
and
did,
and
yes.
obviously it worked out well from them. Should we expect the number one overall seed for the Alabama women's basketball team this year?
I'm gonna say yes, but I think that a lot of people are gonna be excited for what we're gonna be next year. It's been a lot of fun this summer, just seeing the younger guys. The younger guys have been doing a great job, and then the returners, and then even the transfers we've got. Our coaches do an amazing job, but honestly, I think it's just we're gonna play the best that we can play, and if that gets us the number one seed, then that gets us the number one seed. But I don't think that anybody could say right now in the summer that they could ever be the number one seed in the country in the NCAA tournament. But, that is something that you want to hope for. So,
Absolutely, always good to shoot higher.
yes, exactly.
Sarah Ashlee, it feels like women's college basketball is having a moment right now,
Absolutely.
and it's maybe as popular and as most skilled as it's ever been. And we saw huge numbers television wise for the women's game this past season in stars, like Caitlin Clark and Haley Van Lith and Angel
Hmm.
Reese. And along with that was a little bit of trash talk. I mean, does
Yeah,
it feel like right now the game's in as healthy a spot as it's ever been?
I do. I really do. I think that the trash talk is good. I think that when you look at the men's side, you see a lot of trash talk from them. So it's like, why can't women do it too? And if someone's gonna get in my face and say something, like I don't mind saying something right back to them. I think that's just how the game is. Like if you're not competitive, then you wouldn't do that kind of stuff. And I think that's what people are realizing is like the women's game is so competitive. It's so much fun. It's different than it's different than the men's game. The men's game is all like hype, like dunking and all this kind of stuff. But like the women, like we can really play and we know how to play together. And I think when you look at like what Caitlin Clark has been doing for the game, or Angel Reese, or Haley Van Lith, just all of them, like it's really empowering, and they just are trying to show who they are. That's all it is just being a competitive nature. Like a lot of people were mad about the Angel Reese stuff, like.
Right.
And I was like, there's nothing to be mad about. Like she's just playing her game. She's showing that she loves the game. And I think that, at the end of the day, like that's just what we're trying to do. And it's honestly been like amazing to watch. And just when you saw this all the stuff exploding on Twitter, I'm like, heck yeah, like this is making women's basketball like go everywhere. So I mean that's a credit to them, just putting a platform out for women, and just being able to just show that, you know, women can play too. So
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, raising the visibility of the sport. And there does seem to be a little bit of a double standard that we celebrate men trash talking and we like it, but some of the women
right,
do it. We had some opinions about that. I wonder,
right,
certain coaches coach that a different way. I know, covering Alabama football as long as I have, Coach Saban has a sort of mantra of just don't talk to the other team. I
right.
wonder with Coach Curry, does she address that at all with you guys? Or
I
I know
mean,
in some instances, trash talk actually fuels the player and
right.
maybe take them to a different level. What's Coach Curry's philosophy with that?
I think it's just knowing a level of respect. Coach Curry wants us to respect our opponents and respect everybody, and she respects us. And so I think it's just, understanding like, yeah, there may be some chippiness in it, but don't go say something that you don't need to say or that you wouldn't want to hear. But I think when it's like, blocking somebody's shot, like get that out of here or something like that, like that's what comes with the game. And I think Coach Christie just does a really good job of just kind of putting on our heads, like, there's a time and place for certain things. And, if that's the time and place for it, then that's the time and place for it. But make sure you understand, like, what you say does have consequences. So,
Yeah. Just a reminder, if you have a question for Sarah Ashlee, click on the comment button beneath the video. Make sure you get your comment in. We thank Stephanie for her question. Obviously, the season didn't end like you guys wanted it to.
right,
It did end in a trip to the postseason, into the NCAA tournament.
right.
But the game didn't play out like you guys wanted it to. I wonder, in a game like that, how capable that is to fuel you guys as motivation in the offseason in case you get in that position next year, to make sure you get in that position next year
Right.
in the NCAA
Right.
tournament.
No, absolutely. I think it fuels you just because, when you do lose, you have that like kind of you want to get back onto the floor. And it's like you lost that game. Well, you're not going to get back onto the floor until probably November. And so it's like you got to kind of carry that game and that weight all the way up until November. And I think it pushes you in a sense of, we were frustrated that we didn't win that game. We were frustrated how the outcome was, and knowing that we should have won that game. And I think that's what pushes us, and just is when we're doing every single rep in practice, or you talk about the little details of at the end of practice, like when we're not when we're turning the ball over, when we're getting tired, you think about that and you're like, well, that's kind of what happened at the end of the game against Baylor. We got tired, we let them come back, and so I think that's where you just kind of put this mindset of like, hey, like we did that last game, like this is how we need to practice. This is what, because I mean, practice makes you prepared for games, and so I think that it's kind of gives us an edge a little bit of who we're trying to be, and understanding that we want to be able to finish those type of games next season.
The women's program at Alabama had gone a long time without making the NCAA tournament. Now this program has made the NCAA tournament 2 of the last 3 years. Does it feel like the program's on the rise right now?
Oh, absolutely. Coach Christie and our whole staff does a great job. Just the type of recruits that they brought in, and then from the recruits from the transfer portal and stuff like that. And I think that, the culture that they want and we want in this program is set. And I think that that's a testament to them and the coaches, just because they're trying to bring people in that they know that's going to fit this program and fit the culture. And I think now it's like the culture's set, and now you just got to keep going with it and bring in people that you want. And but it's pretty awesome to see what they've done. And just because, I mean, I did go to Georgia for 2 years, so it was kind of like when I saw that they made it to the NCAA tournament when I was at my time at Georgia, it kind of made me really happy, because I was like, wow, like they haven't been in so long, and now it's like you said, 2 out of 3 years we're going, and we have every single plan to go every single year now. That's just what this program is. And you think about how good Alabama was when they were going to the NCAA tournament all the time. Like that's the standard. That's Alabama women's basketball. Like, this is the University of Alabama. Like you win games here. And so I think that's where the program is headed, and it's pretty exciting.
I wonder, when you guys are in practice, how physical is the Coach Curry practice? Are you guys beating each other up?
It's pretty physical. I will say, like, we get at each other. It's there, kind of not hitting each other, but bumping into each other, just making each other like go hard. I think that's been the most impressive thing that I've loved about this summer, is like someone's going to get up in someone and they're going to make them go hard. And it's like, if they have some words, but you go back into the locker room, you're like, we're teammates. We love each other. Like we're just making each other hard. And they do a great job of our practice plan and making us work hard. And it's pretty physical. We definitely get at it. So, and I'll say, I'm like one of the people, if someone's going to come ramming to me, I'm coming right back at you. And that's just who I am. So
yeah, you're mentally tough, right? You're mentally and physically tough.
Right. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So obviously the game of basketball has sort of been changed or revolutionized, whatever phrase you want to put on it, when Steph Curry starts making all these threes, and not everybody wants to take threes.
Right.
I wonder, who's the best 3-point shooter on the team?
Oh my goodness. I don't even have to think about this. It is hands down Aaliyah Nye. And when I tell you she's the best 3-point shooter on the team, if I see this girl open, I'm passing her the ball. I don't care if I have a wide open layup. I'm kicking the ball out to her in the corner, because I know for a fact she's going to knock down that 3. And I've told her that all the time. I'm like, Aaliyah, like, she'll have like 1 second, and I look at her, I'm like, shoot the ball. Like, come on. Like, I'm like, you literally, I mean, she's one of the best shooters in the country, but she works for it. And so, and she'll always laugh at me sometimes when I look at her, I'm like, shoot, she's like, I know. And I'm like, no, like, for real. Like, I want the ball in your hands at the 3-point line. If she has 1 second to get open, the ball better be in her hands, because it's going in. And like all of us on our team, like, and even the coaches and everything, like, we just know, like, as soon as it leaves her hand, it's just like, all right, I'm just going to trot back. Like, she's just that good of a shooter.
Does she have a favorite spot on the floor that you're trying to get her the ball in, or is it anywhere on the 3-point line?
Any spot. That girl will knock down any spot. When I tell you any spot, literally any spot. But she shoots the crap out of the ball.
So for those that don't know, I mean, I'm assuming most do, you come from a pretty athletic family.
Yes, sir.
Your dad, Jay, played quarterback and won a championship at Alabama. Your brother played quarterback at Alabama. He's a GA now on the team. Your other brother is at UAB playing football.
Mm-hmm.
But you can take him in basketball, right? I mean, football, that's the easiest stuff. You can take him on the floor, right?
Absolutely. Like growing up, I pretty much played with guys up until I was in 6th grade. And so I moved to 7th grade with the middle school team, obviously with the girls team. And I mean, my twin brother and I, we would go at it in the driveway, play one-on-one. He would dunk on me all the time. Like, I mean, there were times where I'd get so mad at him and just be like, just shove him. And he like, and just cause he dunked on me but that's just like the relationship that we had. And then when I would play with him up until 6th grade, I'd walk onto the floor and there'd be guys like, why is this girl on the floor? Like, and my twin brother's like, no, she's like about to beat y'all. Like, that's just like how like him and I would always talk, and he'd always push me. And honestly, like I pretty much like it's a testament to them of like why I'm even at this level, because I truly believe that like playing with guys at a young age and playing with my brothers in the neighborhood, like they get all their friends to come play. And I'm like the only girl, I'm like 5'2" at that point. And there's these guys just literally, and they don't even care. They didn't even treat me like I was a girl. They just dunk on me, and it wouldn't matter. They block the crap out of my shot. Like, and so honestly, like if it wasn't for that, like that's where kind of like my mental, like the physical part of it, of having to be tough, because I was always just banging with guys, pretty much all my life. So
Yeah. Well, he's not dunking on you anymore, right? You just give him a shot.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
He's not dunking on me.
All right. Just again, another reminder, if you have a question for Sarah Ashlee, make sure you hit that comment button beneath the video. Let's bring in a fan question, our first of the night, from Shelby C. Do you remember your first Alabama football game?
Oh, gosh. I don't know if people are going to like this story, but I'm going to tell it anyways. So, of course, like growing up, I mean, I went to a lot of Alabama football games. We came to Tuscaloosa a lot, like most Saturdays whenever there were home games. But I would say like one of the one things that pops to my head about like one of my first Alabama games, and I hate saying this, is when I was in the field suite at Alabama, and we were like right on like at the end of the end zone. And it was when Cam Newton was at Auburn, and we were up big. We were up big, and they came back and won. And that's literally like probably one of the most things that I remember about one of my like first Alabama games. And I know it wasn't my first, but that's like the one that just always is in my head and just always like,
Yeah.
So. But I have like pictures and stuff like that when I was little, but I don't remember it. So.
Yeah. Well, they say, I mean, you're an athlete, and the most elite athletes, they say that the losses stick with them more and are more memorable than the wins. So I'm guessing that's what this one is too.
Yeah.
And that game was crazy. Alabama had a number of things go against it in that game, but
they did. I agree.
Auburn for a great comeback.
Yes.
Even though we're Yea Alabama. So let's get to the next question. Paul W., how much does your dad talk about the glory days, and do you ever get tired of it?
I'm gonna be honest. My dad never talks about it unless we bring it up. And like growing up, he just always, if we had questions about, his playing days and stuff like that, he'd always talk about it, and then he'd kind of get into it, but he would never just kind of bring it up. He wanted us to play sports and play whatever we wanted and go wherever we wanted and do what we wanted to do. And I'm really thankful for that, though, because I never felt pressure from my dad or anything like that growing up, and neither did my brothers and stuff like that. And so, but I will say, like, it is pretty cool just like listening to him talk about, like the food that they got compared to the food that we got. Now, when we talk about that, he's like, oh, y'all have so much more stuff than we do. Like literally just to like, we'll ramble about it. And he's like, but he's also happy about that. He's like, it should be that way. Y'all should, have so much access to all that kind of stuff. But it is pretty cool. I don't ever get tired of it because I know that he would never get tired of me talking about, my basketball stuff. So,
but I do imagine you have a ton of fans coming to you telling you your dad's stories. Right?
Absolutely. I do. Yeah. I mean, there's times even when I'm in Tuscaloosa, they're like, yeah, I was at the 1992 like national championship game. And I'm just like, yeah, that's awesome. Like my dad said, it was an awesome game, obviously, because they won a national championship. But, and then I have people just kind of ask me like, how he is, he just say like what they remember, tell me stories about him and stuff like that. And it's actually pretty cool. Just like listening to what other people, have to say. But yeah.
Yeah. He's still your dad. You got to make fun of him though.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, let's grab another question here from Jordan P. Do you think you could play at the college level in another sport? If so, what sport?
See, I grew up running routes for my brothers. So if I was on the men's side, of things, I would say I would love to play football. I like football. I mean, I just grew up running routes for both my brothers. They were quarterbacks in high school and stuff like that. Um, I really like softball. I do. I grew up playing softball. It was a little too slow for me, but I think that honestly, I really don't know. There's like I could go both ways
Yeah.
because I'm like into pickleball right now, and so I could tell you like I could play tennis right now, maybe even though pickleball and tennis is kind of different. But honestly, I'm just gonna say tennis. I'm gonna say tennis
Okay.
because I was a pretty good tennis player, and if I would have stuck with it, I think I would have been pretty good. But obviously, tennis you have to play year round like that. There's just no choice. Like for you to
Right.
go play at the college level, you've got to play year round.
Right.
And I love watching tennis. So yeah, I'm gonna
Well,
go with
I
tennis.
gotta ask, when you were running those routes for your brother, did you have a favorite route that you liked?
Honestly, I like loved the post route. I loved the post. So yeah,
That's a pretty one.
that is a pretty one.
Yeah. Considering they can hit you in stride.
Right, exactly. Hit me in stride right there, catch it, a touchdown.
Love it. Let's grab another question here. Let's see. We got Nicole. She wants to know, have you ever had a buzzer-beating game-winning shot? Now, you've played sports for your whole life. I'm
Right,
sure you've had a game winner somewhere, right?
right. So when I was at Georgia my sophomore year, we were playing NC State, and it wasn't a game-winning shot, but it put us in to win the game. So there was like 4 seconds on the clock, and the play was drawn up for me, and one of my coaches was like, "All right, you're coming off," and I was like, "I got you. Like I'm gonna hit this." Like I told her I was like, "I'm gonna hit it." So the play like broke down. What like the play that happened was not even our play at all. Like it just happened. Coming off a screen, got the ball and just launched it. And then we ended up going into overtime with them, like at the buzzer, put us in overtime, ended up winning. They were the number 2 team in the country. And it was a pretty big statement win for us. And that's definitely one of my game winning shots that I've won. When I was a freshman in high school, I hit a shot to go into overtime, but it didn't win us the game. So, but I did lose that state championship game. So, yeah,
Yeah. Well, so back to the NC State game. Did you know it was good the moment it left your hands?
I really did. I really shot it, and I'm not trying to say that in a cocky way at all. It's just when you feel it, and that's just kind of what happened. And when it went out of my hands, I literally was like, "That looks like it's going in," and it felt good. So
I
yeah.
actually, believe it or not, and I'm not lying to you, I think I remember seeing that on Twitter. It kind of blew up on Twitter.
It did blow
Yeah.
up on Twitter, and I think it was like on like Sports Center or something like that, top plays
Yeah.
or something. It was pretty cool. My phone was like blowing up that night. So
That's a good feeling.
it is a great feeling. Yes.
Let's grab another question here from Jackie. I assume it's a she, could be a he. What do we as fans not understand about the day in the life of a collegiate athlete? I mean, are you
Um,
guys pretty scheduled out? Is it as rigorous as it can be, or do you guys have some free time?
right. I mean, I'd probably say like I've heard a lot of people be like, "Oh, athletes are like so lucky. They get this, they get this, they get that." But it's like when you think about the schedule that we have, especially once we start like 15 hours in the fall for school wise.
Right.
Like I wake up probably around 8 a.m. and depending on my class schedule, if I had an 8 a.m., I'd wake up before that. And it's like you go to class, then you got to figure out, where you're getting food. So you got to get food, then you got to go to treatment. Then if you're hurt, you got to go to rehab. Then you go to practice. Then after practice, you got to do treatment after practice. Then possibly you could have study hall, and then you got to get dinner. So by that point, you could be gone pretty much from like 8 a.m. until like 6 or 7 p.m. And so I don't think a lot of people understand that like we really do work for what we're given, and we really do kind of. We earn it, if that makes sense. It's not as yes, we get a lot of great things, and I'm very grateful for that. But it is very time consuming, and you got to sacrifice a lot of stuff. Some people just get to go do whatever they want, plan what they want on the weekends. But I think that people don't realize how much you really have to sacrifice, for an athlete, and even at the college level. But at the same time, you really look at it and you're like, I love the game so much. I'm so thankful. I'm thankful that I get to get all this stuff, get the dining hall food, get this gear, get this equipment, get to travel. Like it's a lot of stuff to be grateful for. But I don't think people truly understand like what it takes to be, a college athlete and do what you're supposed to do and at that high level. So,
which is why everyone watching should be supporting NIL. Help
they
make these
should. Yes.
athletes a little
Yes.
easier. Let's grab another question here. This one from Lucy. Are you friends with any other athletes outside of basketball? I mean, but you just laid out your day. There's not a whole lot of time, but I imagine you've made some relationships from student athletes in other sports.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm friends with some football players, some soccer players. I'm really close with soccer players. I actually live with 3 soccer players right now. And then I've got some friends here that went to my high school. And so actually my best friend that goes here, she went to my high school. And so when I came back from Georgia, it was really nice that I get to see her, especially because it kind of takes me away from the sports side a little bit when I just go hang out with her and that kind of stuff. But every single day you walk into the dining hall and you see all these people and it's all athletes. Yeah. And so you just kind of get to interact with people from the baseball team to the tennis team to pretty much everybody. And, but yeah, so I'm definitely close with a lot of soccer girls and I'm very thankful for that.
All right, let's grab another one. Let's see, Brittany. You talked earlier about your dad sort of giving you grief that you got better food options than he had back in the day.
Yeah.
So on your best day, like what is in the cafeteria for you? What's in the dining hall?
Okay. I'm trying to think. I really like steak or chicken. So either steak or chicken, something like that. And then I love sweet potatoes. So sweet potatoes, some asparagus. I'm trying to think what else. I like broccoli. I could eat broccoli on that. But like sweet potato and asparagus, like I could eat. I would want that on my plate every single night.
There you go.
I really do.
Pretty healthy palate you got there. No sweets.
There's definitely sweets there. On like Mondays and Wednesday nights, we get sweets. There's actually this like snickerdoodle half baked cookie thing. And I have to stay away from it sometimes, especially during season. But I don't do a great job staying away from it because it's just that good. And then, of course, I have to get my milk with it. So I have to go to the refrigerator, obviously, and get my milk because I can't eat the snickerdoodle half-baked without my milk. Like, I just
You're
can't.
You're a psychopath. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
All right, let's go to our lightning round. We got some quick lightning rounds. Outside of the dining hall, what's your favorite meal? Your best meal in Tuscaloosa?
Chuck's. I love Chuck's food. Sushi.
You're the second student athlete that's told us that, so it must be pretty good there at Chuck's. Favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert? Ice cream. Love ice cream. We actually got a new ice cream creamery place over by the river. It's great.
Is there any particular flavor or just ice cream in general?
Chocolate. I love chocolate, but I mean honestly, any ice cream. But if I'm gonna my go-to would be like chocolate and like brownie or chocolate and cookie dough, something like that.
Solid choices. Favorite basketball movie?
I really like Love and Basketball, honestly. I don't know if a lot of people have seen that, but I like Love and Basketball. So
that's a classic.
Yes.
All right, Jordan 1 or Air Force 1?
Jordan 1, easily.
That's the right answer.
Easily.
Good job.
Easily. But I gotta say, I wear Jordan 1 lows. I don't. Yeah. I've never worn highs.
Balling just as fashion, right?
Yes.
Yeah. My closet is full of Jordans. I love my favorite are the 3s. I love the 3s.
Gotcha.
But I got some purple and black low ones they're pretty special.
I bet they're pretty sweet. I bet.
All right, last one. What's your major?
So I'm a human environmental science major and human development. I'll graduate in December, and then I'm going to start my master's in the spring, which I'm really excited about. And so I'll probably go into sports management. I want to be a coach after college and after my time playing. So yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, she is Sarah Ashlee Barker, and she is outstanding. She was very gracious with her time tonight. If you had one message to deliver to our Yea Alabama subscribers, what would you tell them?
I would just tell them thank you, and thank you for just supporting our athletic program and even, women's basketball. I think that the NIL world now is very huge, and it's kind of transitioning into, that's where we're going. And but just thank you for just your support, and just continue to support, and every single day it's awesome. So thank you.
Well, Sarah Ashlee, thank you for your time. Go grab your dad's credit card, do that shopping for Spain.
Thank you. I
Uh,
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for joining us. Uh, Another outstanding half-hour huddle. We have been truly blessed with some great personalities and great student athletes in their respective sports. Again, thank you to Sarah Ashlee Barker for her time. Remember, we got the youth size T-shirts in the merch store. Swinging Elephant, baseball, golf, it's there. While you're there, check out all we have to offer in the merch store. Another reminder: we do have exclusive interviews with Alabama offensive coordinator Tommy Rees coming up. We got an exclusive interview with defensive coordinator Kevin Steele. All of it is coming up at Yea Alabama. Make sure you tell your friends about it. We need your support for NIL now more than ever. A lot of people aren't still informed about NIL. So if you know what's going on, grab them, show them the website, tell them a little bit about it. And we'll see you here next Thursday for another half-hour huddle.